So I think it was 5 years ago. I'm at Tennessee. We're getting ready to play Indianapolis in a game just like this. And I told my team then, and I've told my team now, these guys are good enough to beat us. We played them pretty tight. And they went and beat us by about 15, I think. Chuck will give you the score. I watched the tape yesterday, and we actually didn't play bad, and they beat us by 15. We then went on to win 7 straight, including the preseason NIT, where we beat Shaka Smart and VCU the year that they went to the Final Four, and Villanova and Jay Wright in the Madison Square Garden, which you just don't do. And then we went and beat Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh, which in the Big East SEC Challenge, which you just don't do. And Stan Gerard's Indianapolis team was good enough to beat us at our place. And they're good enough to beat us at our place again this year. Last night they played Valpo. It was a 3-point game with seconds left to go in the game. And so how do they do it? What is it about Division II? I always told people that high Division II, and these guys are ranked in the top 10 in Division II, is better than low Division I. It's more like a mid-major Division I because of transfers and because of different things like that. And so this is a team that's got really good personnel. Backcourt. The backcourt guys that we're going to face are going to be really, really good. And they'll be as good a backcourt as we'll face for a while. They're really good. Now, the kid Lucas Barker had 23 assists and 89 turnovers last year as a junior. 23 assists, 89 turnovers, incredible. And then Jordan Lloyd, he transferred from Furman, and he's a guy that went to Milton High School in Atlanta. 86 assists, 49 turnovers, and he's probably going to be one of their leading scorers. Both senior guards. It's just going to be a really good challenge for our guards, who obviously are all brand new, and or with the injuries that we've had, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of lineups we have to shuffle around tomorrow. And then I think the last 2 factors would be this. They'll play really hard. And when you play against kids from Indiana, and a lot of these kids are from Indiana, they know how to play. I spent 9 years at Southern Indiana, and I've often said this, so I don't mind repeating it. When you recruit in the Indiana, Kentucky, Southern Ohio, Southern Illinois, parts of Virginia and North Carolina, and if you just draw a band around that area, you got some of the best high school basketball. You have the best high school basketball and coaching in the country. And when you schedule those kinds of teams, like in those regions, they're a really good team. They got really good players. And the last thing is this, Stan Gerard. Stan Gerard was a 2-time Division II National Player of the Year for me at Southern Indiana. He played for me for 3 years. In his 3 years, we finished second in the country, losing in the national championship game on CBS to Cal State Bakersfield. His junior year, we won the national championship on CBS over UC Riverside. And his senior year, which was probably our best team, we won our league and our region, but got upset in the Sweet 16. If Stan had a healthy knee, Stan would have been one of the best pros that I ever coached. Still to this day, Stan Gerard was the best player I ever coached. And I coached pros at Tennessee, pros at Iowa, and Stan was the best I ever had. So you might say, why is he still at Indianapolis? He is ready to be a head coach. You look at their record, how they've won consistently over the last several years. I think he's a shining star in our coaching profession. And he is a guy that I definitely, if I thought being an assistant at Auburn would help him get a head coaching job, I would have encouraged Stan to join me on this staff. But I didn't encourage him because I really think where he's at right now, he's just ready. His next step is to be a Division I head coach at a pretty high level, as opposed to coming to be an assistant at Auburn, even though I'd love to have him. So this is definitely all in the family.
How's Bryce Brown doing?
Bryce has practiced. He survived the last 2 practices. And so I'm hoping that today he's okay. My plan right now would be to, again, because we're in an exhibition, I think what my plan is if both TJ Lang and Bryce are good to go, what I'll do is I'll play them each in a half. So the half TJ plays in, I won't play Bryce, and the half that Bryce plays in, I won't play TJ. At least that's the plan. So I can get a backup rotation for those guys. So could each one of them play 8 to 10 minutes? That's a possibility. With foul trouble, they could play more. Things could change. But that would at least be the plan to take a look at them.
So Lang's also practiced this week?
Lang, he worked out hard yesterday after practice. He'll practice today. And, again, the idea is to get these guys fit. We could play 11 or 12 guys tomorrow, but the idea is to get our feet wet. And this is not because, if it was just about winning this game, I'd play 8 or 9. But I've got to get these guys ready for UAB and Colorado and Northwest Georgia State and everything else. And so we do need to get our feet wet. We need to get exposed. And we will get exposed. Indianapolis does a particularly good job with their ball screen offense, and that's one of the harder things to teach defensively. And when you got so many new guys, it'll be something that we'll be good at eventually. We'll be good at it eventually, but we're not very good at it yet.
What's that jump you want to see when you go into that last exhibition game, that when you leave that exhibition game, that makes you feel good going into UAB?
The result tomorrow will tell me a lot about where we are as far as UAB is concerned. Valpo is an NCAA tournament team. I mean, Valpo is picked to win the Horizon League by everybody. They've been a consistent tournament team. If we play well enough to beat Indianapolis, I know it sounds like it's Auburn versus Division II, but I've been down this road before now. That would be a very good sign. I would feel pretty good about that.
What did you?
And I'd say this: our front line will have an advantage over Indianapolis' front line. I would say their backcourt, because of their experience, would have an advantage over our backcourt. Not in talent, but just in newness. These kids played together last year.
Looking back on it now, what did you see out of your group from that first one and now in practice the next couple of days? What did you see out of them that impressed you the most?
I thought we were very unselfish in our last game. I thought our conditioning needed to pick up, and that's my responsibility. I don't believe in being in great shape in November, because to get in great shape, you've got to beat the dog out of them, and it just doesn't let you get through February and March where you're playing your best basketball. And so therefore, we're starting to pick up our conditioning a little bit now. We've run a little bit more this week. We'll run next week, and just get our wind up. And so that would need to improve. We saw 100% zone against Brevard, and we'll see probably about 75% man and 25% zone. So it'll be a brand new look as far as what we're going up against, which is great. That's what you want, So it's good that we'll be playing a team that's going to play us mostly man. We ran no man offense in our last exhibition. I think Sim's been really consistent. Again, he has a very positive assist-turnover ratio. He is obviously in the best shape of his life. He still misses some easy ones and has some glaring turnovers, but offensively, I think he's really, really effective. Defensively, as an undersized post and a non-charge taker, we are challenged there, and so he is going to have to continue to work at becoming a better interior defender and a helper. It's not about his one-on-one defense. It's not about his defense on the ball. It's not about his perimeter defense. It's when you play a 5-man that doesn't block shots and is 6'6", 6'7", it affects your ability to protect the rim.
Will this be a good game for you to evaluate Zach
Yeah, this would be really good for Zach to go up against this, getting ready for UAB in Colorado. I mean, absolutely. And as I told you guys, and I appreciate you giving me the credit, I told you that our young guys that had to step up would be ready for it against Brevard. And they did, Zach and New particularly, and Jordan in a short notice coming up to play a new position. This will be a different challenge for them. You know, these are Division I transfer players. You know, the transfers from Murray State and Furman and Indiana State and different places like that. This is going to be a different kind of a test for us. So I'm anxious to see how our guards respond.
Bruce, you said that you're playing New a lot more than you would have really on him,
Right.
Obviously, but has he kind of risen to that challenge, even in the exhibition and then practices afterwards?
I think he has. I think New's done really well. He's demonstrated that he is a gamer. He's confident. What he does well, and I think he'll continue to do it well. I think for New, it's just a learning curve about so many aspects of playing the game, and that's part of being young and being a freshman. Same thing for Bryce. You know, tremendous ability and talent, and it's just that the difference between high school basketball and college basketball is like the difference between college basketball and the pros. It's night and day, and particularly for the guards. It's easier for the inside players, I think, to make that transition than it is the guards.